Nelson Ricks into the game for the first time, misses, but it's rebounded and put back by Nielsen. 13 for Ty Nielsen. His usual steady self. 2 minutes to play in the third. Knowles hits three.
Oh. Every time Skyview comes back and scores, Mountain Crest just sticks another dagger in him.
14 for Knowles, and it's a 17-point Mustang lead. Jalen Moore working against Ferguson. Shot too hard. Rebounded by Porter. Ricks spins inside, loses the handle. 6 turnovers for Skyview. Crosby spins around Moore, leaves it short, and he walked. Mountain Crest with a turnover of their own. Dewey replaces Ricks. And here comes Brian Doherty. Take a look.
Not as many steps as earlier in the game, but yes. Whereas Skyview's got to do something now with 1:27 to go in the third period, down 48-31. That tells the story now. The S.E. Needham Jewelers middle of the block, sign of the clock, where Utah gets engaged.
Nielsen leaves it back for Porter. Porter in traffic. Fouled, he'll go to the line.
Porter surprised that ball came to him, I think, a little bit. Ty Nielsen drives underneath and gets caught in the in-between place. Nobody wants to be.
Ferguson picks up the foul. Up there, reaching across. Porter hits the free throw. Porter 0 for 2 from the line before that one. And Skyview scored 11 points in this period. The problem now 12. The problem is they've given up 20.
I was trying to remember what it was, 27 or 28.
It was 28. So it's a 15-point lead for Mountain Crest. I think we're well past danger time for Skyview, and now we're in the Sharks are circling.
Well, and the Skyview band pipes up an appropriate song now, the theme from Rocky. And they're going to need a Herculean effort to dig out of this hole against a tough Mountain Crest team. Looking to go 7 in a row for victories.
And move to 10-5 on the season.
This is the time of the game when the coach earns his money. Trying to keep these 16 and 17-year-olds' heads in the game and dig them out of this hole.
The Mountain Crest looking to put some distance between themselves and those chasing them in Region 5. Skyview with the press on. Ferguson. Charge.
They're going to call charge. Oh, that's a good call. He kind of gets out of control, turns his body, and jumps into the defender. Pretty easy call, really. Can't believe Eddie Hall didn't turn it over or get fouled or something. Step out of bounds. He gets the ball up court and makes it pass. And look at Ferguson get his body turned and just leans in with the shoulder. That's an easy charge call.
Cleaning up the floor there in front of the Mountain Crest bench. The Mountain Crest with their 5th turnover. Moore steps inside the arc. Left that one short. .40 seconds to play in the third. A timeout, Mountain Crest. Mountain Crest with 14 fouls, 1 for Skyview. Ferguson has 2 for Mountain Crest. Nielsen has 2 for Skyview.
Surprisingly, not a lot of foul trouble in this tough game.
Mo Pututau has 8 points here in the third, 14 for the game. 17 for Tyler Crosby. He had 13 in the first half. Tanner Knowles has 14. Jameson Webb has 3. Those are the only Mustangs that have scored. Nielsen with 13 for Skyview. Moore with 8. Larson 2. Dewey 6. And Porter with 4.
Well, we'll watch now in this fourth quarter, last few seconds of the third quarter and fourth quarter for a Valley Channel Angie's Wendy's player of the game. So keep your eyes peeled. That's a disturbing phrase, by the way.
Peeling your eyes. Mountain Crest is holding the ball with that 15-point lead. They led by 7 at the end of the half.
Trying to take a little air out of the ball here. You're right. Work this quarter.
Hall, 3. Won't go. Rebounded. And tossed out up there by Ty Nielsen. It won't go. Gets the big groan from the crowd. And it's 48-33. Mountain Crest taking a big lead into the fourth quarter.
Visionary homes.
This is your living room, and so is this. This is season 1 and 2 and 3. This is the big game and the big moment. This is getting caught up. This is Xfinity TV. This is easy. This is simple. This is awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Mountain Crest with 20 points in that third period to 12 for Skyview. So it's 48-33 after 3 periods of play. And it's really 3 players doing the damage for Mountain Crest. Crosby with 17, Knowles and Pututau with 14 apiece.
Crosby stills a Nash?
Yes. Crosby, Knowles, and Mull. Larson, 3. Still 0 from beyond the arc for the Bobcats. Moore finds Larson.
Right.
And then it's stolen away by Eddie Hall.
Mountain Crest with a ton of steals. Great anticipation.
They're quick.
Yeah.
They're quick. They're fast. You name it. They're all of those.
All the above.
And they make up a lot of ground. A guy looks open. If you try a pass from a bad angle, yoink, it's going the other way.
It's going the other way.
Seven turnovers for Skyview. 6 on Mountain Crest, so pretty even there. Really, it's been the shooting that's been the story. Skyview hasn't shot the ball very well. Mountain Crest has. Foul out front. Is that on Nielsen? That'll be his third.
3 on 3. Well, he's doing whatever he can to try and get his team fired up and be more intense. And there's only 6:51 to go in this game. Down by 15 points.
4 3-pointers for Mountain Crest, none for Skyview. And that just about makes up your difference, doesn't it?
Put near.
Pertnier Mountain Crest isn't going to be in any hurry.
Well, we got to talk about a player of the game, and thus far it looks like it's going to be a Mountain Crest Mustang.
With Tyler Crosby's been pretty dang good.
Pretty good. I was thinking Crosby or Knowles both. They both played a whale of a game.
We had Knowles a couple weeks ago when he scored 20 points. Putu Tau has 16.
When Crosby cuts off Moore and the ball dribbles out of bounds and off of Moore.
Moore's kind of standing looking. I don't know if he thought there should be a foul or what. He didn't go get the ball.
Couldn't really see it here from all the students standing up exactly what happened.
Crosby misses, rebounded by Dewey. Nielsen won't go. Put back though by Doherty. Doherty off the bench with his first bucket. Skyview's extended that defense, trailing by 15 with 5:40 to play. You've got 3 fouls on Nielsen, and he's chasing Crosby around, and then they just switched, and Larson picks up the foul.
You know, Eddie Hall has not scored for Mountain Crest tonight, but he's been fantastic, especially on the defensive end.
Timeout, Skyview.
I just love watching football players play basketball.
It is an adventure.
It's kinda
many
fun.
times. It's like hockey without the skates. Because there is that agility there, but also a whole lot of, BB and a baby rattle.
Well, you mentioned the issue for Skyview tonight. It's really been shooting. We don't keep track of their percentages. It can't be anywhere over 30. They've really missed a lot of shots. And they're not taking very high percentage shots. They're shooting up a lot of balls from the three-point line. And that's where Mountain Crest really made their way in this game, is they got a lot of baskets within 8 feet of the hoop.
Logan's at Box Elder tonight.
How's that going? Can you give me an update?
No score update on that one yet. Sorry to say, most honorable one.
Okay.
But Logan, we talked about that tough stretch. How they opened the region play with Skyview at Mountain Crest. Roy's kind of fallen off after a hot start.
Yeah, I think they're 11-4 now.
If you call that falling off. I mean, some people would say that about Skyview, because if they go on and lose this one, they're going to be 12-4. Looking pretty dang good, but they'd still call that falling off. Ty Nielsen just picked up number 4. I mean, I don't know who else you're going to get to guard Crosby, but I think it would be somebody besides Ty Nielsen. Now he's out on Knowles. And they've got Doherty on Crosby. They're going to keep him on the floor. Might as well. Knowles, three-pointer. Won't go. Rebound and a foul underneath. Going the other way, it's on Jamison Webb. Webb picks up his second. The Mountain Crest, their 5th team foul. Doherty going to the bucket, and it rolls off. Matthias fights for it. Nielsen. It goes out of bounds. Who's ball? Skyview ball.
Yeah.
And Jalen Moore sat for a few seconds, and now he's coming back in. And Dewey will take a seat. Nope, it's Larson that's going to go out. Into Matthias and back to Moore. Moore Down low to Nielsen. Nielsen can't finish. Doherty tries to put it back on the volleyball. And Knowles comes up with it. But that right there is really the story.
Yeah, that was a microcosm of this entire game.
There's just been a lid on the bucket for the Bobcats since the last couple of minutes of that first period. And Eddie Hall stepped out of bounds. We're stuck on 50-35. Both teams have scored one bucket in this fourth quarter. Josh Worley will come in and replace J-Mo Webb. Mathias fires for three. Too long, and Doherty over the back of Worley.
That's a push and a reach, or whatever you want to call it. It's a foul.
Riley Panthers getting set to check in for Skyview. I mean, they're looking for anybody. Doherty knocked it away, but he was already out of bounds when he touched it again. The Panther looked like he was going to check in, but now he's back by the bench. Skyview's going to have to do a lot of chasing.
Yeah, this is why Mountain Crest only scored 2 points in this quarter.
They're not trying to.
They're not trying.
Here comes Panther. Matt Dewey picks up his first foul. "11 players used by Coach Hilliard. He's trying to find some combination. It's probably too late. We're under 4 minutes to play, and it's a 15-point lead for the Mustangs. And even when it looks like they get a turnover, they don't, but then they get one. It looked like Worley had lost it, and then he got it back, and then they threw it into the backcourt.
Yeah, Eddie Hall just took one step to steady himself, and it went over that line. In order to get in the front court, you have to actually cross the entirety of the line with the ball in your whole body, but to step into the backcourt, it's a toe.
So if you come across and you stop with 1 foot in front and 1 foot in back, you're okay. Moore. 10 for Jalen Moore. It's a 13-point lead and a foul on Jalen Moore. But for Jalen Moore, that's only his second foul, and so that big dunk.
Wow.
Breathing a little life into the crowd here.
13-point hole with 3:32 to go is still a long ways to go, but that'll energize your team.
Eddie Hall goes to the line for the first time. It's 1 and 1. And he hits it. Hall for another. This is what Mountain Crest has done every time Skyview's made a play tonight to try to get back into this game. They've answered. And Hall misses the second. Moore with the board. Mountain Crest still pressuring the ball. Mathias underneath to Nielsen. A 12-point game, and Skyview's going to foul. Panther in the game. Coach Moore, Jimmy Moore, pulls him aside and tells him something as he walks by. And your only problem is you're sending Riley Crosby to the line, where he's 5 of 5.
He's pretty good.
Crosby missed it.
Wow.
And then he gets the rebound. Loses it, picks it back up. Moore got his hand on that one, and he thinks somebody else touched it after he did, but it doesn't matter what he thinks.
Honestly, I think he fouled Crosby, which made him turn the ball over, so he didn't touch it last, but he gets away with no foul.
Crosby
That's a flop.
pushing down Nielsen. Yeah, Nielsen hit the ground like he'd been shot out of a cannon.
No flopping. You know, the officials don't like it when you flop and they catch you. They're trying to show them up. Well, Coach Hilliard, he talked about composure in the opening game comments. And this is really where Mountain Crest needs to keep that composure because Skyview's throwing everything they've got on them. It's a frenetic pace, and there's going to be a lot of physical contact and emotions running high. They got to hang on to this 12-point lead. See if they can steal one at Skyview's gym.
There's just under 3 minutes, and the lead is 12.
Tell me, Riley Crosby's line.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Did I say Riley?
Is that his line?
Tyler
Crosby.
Tyler.
He has 17 points.
17 points. Thank you. That is who we are going to select, all things being equal here. For the Valley Channel Player of the Game, he'll get a coupon to clean the sink at Angie's and 2 food coupons for Wendy's.
I do not recall Crosby having any steals. He may have one.
Yeah, I don't remember one either.
There's not a lot of turnovers in this game. 8 for Skyview, 8 for Mountain Crest.
Barring a miracle comeback from Skyview, Riley will. I keep saying Riley. Tyler will be. But there used to be a Riley Crosby out here.
Sure.
I don't know where
There's 100 Rileys
I don't
in
know
the
where
last
that's coming
few years.
from. That's true. There's a lot of them.
That was the name of all names. It was the Elizabeth of the 1990s.
Tyler Crosby will be our player of the game.
Crosby all the way, fouled by Matthias. Crosby missed his last free throw, and that was his first miss of the game after starting 5 of 5. There's your SC Needham Jewelers middle of the block. Sign of the clock, a 12-point lead with 2:40 to play for Mountain Crest. Crosby looking to extend that lead. SC Needham Jewelers where Utah gets engaged. Crosby steps up and hits them both. He's hit 6 out of 7 free throws.
And a block.
And one. Check that. He's hit 7 out of 8 free throws. The bucket's good for Nielsen.
Skyview's not dead yet.
Knowles picks up his second. And Nielsen with 17 points. That's an 11-point Mountain Crest lead. And they're going to foul Pututau. Now in the past, that's been an adventure, sending Pututau to the line.
Yeah, that was probably a good foul at this stage of the game.
Well, this year, his senior year, he's been much better. He's gotten much better as he's progressed at the free throw line. So, but again, this is his second free throw attempt of the night. He's missed his only free throw attempt that was in the second period. He's got 16 points.
Right on his season average.
He misses. It's 2 free throws the rest of the way for Mountain Crest, and then the next foul on the Mustangs will put Skyview at the line the rest of the way. Pututau hits 1 of 2. And they're trying to throw that one in as Moore tries to take it away and they call a foul. Are they trying to throw that one into Moore? Or?
Yeah. Well, it was a great defensive play by Pututau. He just backed Moore away from that ball as it was in the pass to him and just couldn't reach it.
So Moore picks up his third. And Knowles goes to the line. He's 1 of 2. Larson will replace Matthias, so you've got 3-point shooters on the floor. The guy that's missing is Goddard. Missed them both, did Knowles. And Crosby, we talked about steals. He didn't have many. He just about got one there, but instead he got a foul.
Instead he's going to give him free throws, and that's what you don't want to do, is give Skyview a chance with the clock stop to score some points.
It's an interesting turn of events as Goddard has been sitting on the bench. The point guard. Dewey hits the free throw. 6 points in the first period for Dewey. That's his first point since. Dewey 1 of 2. They keep cutting that lead down a little bit at a time, but they're going to run out of clock. Putu Tau.
Smart.
Back out to Crosby. You don't want to foul him.
It's going to happen. Wow.
He gets tripped, no call. Here come the Bobcats. Doherty underneath to Nielsen. Nielsen blocked and a foul. A charge called on Doherty. Levon's going to head down to the sideline. Doherty with his second. They called a charge on Doherty as he ran over one of the Mustangs just as he dished it off. Webb gets fouled and he'll go to the line. It's his first trip to the line tonight. 1:55 to play. Skyview has been down by as many as 17. They've cut it to an 11-point deficit. But they've come up empty their last couple of trips with the chance to cut it to single digits and really put some pressure on the Mustangs. Webb way short. Four of 10 from the line for Mountain Crest here in the fourth quarter, and the crowd lets Webb have it. And he drains the second. 55-43 as Nielsen gets to the rack. Nielsen with 20, and it's a 10-point lead for Mountain Crest. They wrap up Eddie Hall near midcourt. And there's 1:39 to play in the ball game. And they call that on Panther. So now Eddie Hall goes to the line. Eddie Hall is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. One field goal here in the fourth quarter as Mountain Crest has been trying to take the air out of the ball. And a ton of free throws as Skyview's been forced to foul. And Hall hits that one. 12 free throws from Mountain Crest here in the fourth quarter. They're 6 of 12. Hall hits them both. 7 of 13. Hall with 3 points, all at the line. Larson steps back for 3, won't go, and they still are ice cold from beyond the arc. Skyview trying to draw a jump ball. Instead, Jalen Moore picks up his fourth foul. Jalen Moore averaging 24 points a game. He's got 10 tonight. He left for an extended period in that first half. He got cut or hit in the mouth or something like that. We couldn't tell, but they stopped the game and made him go off, and he had to go to the locker room. And Crosby hits the free throw. 8 of 9 from the line for Crosby. He's got 20 points. Crosby hits them both. 21, game high. Panther for 3. In and out. Tip by Nielsen. Pututau's got it. Out front is Webb. Crosby's going to hang on to it, and Panther fouls him. With a 1:15 on the clock and a 14-point lead for Mountain Crest. And this one's pretty much over. Crosby with 21 points. He's looking for more. He missed his first free throw of the 4th period. Since then, he's hit 5 in a row. He hit his first 5, missed one. Now he's hit 5 more. 23 for Crosby. Nielsen, long 3. Won't go. Rebounded out of there by Crosby. Crosby gets it off to Pututau. Now to Knowles and timeout Mountain Crest. With 59 ticks on the clock. And it's all over but the crying here at Skyview. And we showed you our SCNM Jewelers middle of the block sign of the clock at 2:40 in this quarter. And here it is a couple of minutes later, and it's about the same story. Now the lead out to 16 for Mountain Crest with under a minute to play. SC Needham Jewelers, where Utah gets engaged. And the Skyview faithful starting to head for the exits. Hey, if you're watching the big game next week, or watching one of the games of the week on the Valley Channel, or just your favorite movie, or just having a pizza night, I don't know why you would call anybody other than Pier 49 Pizza. They provide us with 3 or 4 different types of pizzas before each and every game, and our crew hits those things like they've never seen food before. And they're outstanding and awesome. I'll tell you what, cheese is the key to a pizza, and they don't skimp on it. At Pier 49, plenty of toppings and a couple of pieces, and you feel like you've eaten quite the meal. Pier 49, fall in love with pizza again. In the backcourt, they give it off to Crosby. Crosby gets rid of it, and they foul Webb finally with 48 seconds to play. Skyview had it down to 10. And now it's back up to 16. And Skyview has just not shot the ball well. And Webb misses the first. He's 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Webb hits the second. So just like the last trip, he missed first, hit the second. Moore is going to fire a long 3. Too hard. Rebounded by Crosby. He gets it knocked away by Doherty. We'll see if Skyview fouls or if they just let him play it out, as Mountain Crest is going to empty the bench. Worley, Anthony Peterson, Spencer Coombs, Caden Buckmiller, and Gage Ferguson all into the game for Mountain Crest. And they turn it over. Moore lobs it up for Nielsen. Nielsen stumbles as he catches it and turns it over. And Jalen Moore just picked up number 5. So thus ends a very frustrating night for Jalen Moore. We've seen a lot of outstanding performances by Moore, as we've seen Skyview a few times this season, but tonight just never really could get it going. So they've got 1 minute to replace him. Worley misses the first. Worley misses them both. Nielsen loses it out of bounds. 11th turnover for Skyview. And a tough offensive night for the Bobcats. 20 seconds to play. Worley dribbling through all sorts of white jerseys, and they finally foul him. Foul on Bryce Mortensen. Actually, Bryce Mortensen's not on the floor, so it had to be on Matt Dewey, 23, not 13. Oh, Worley. Can't get him to go. Nielsen elevates. His three won't go. He gets his own rebound, loses it out of bounds. They say it was last touch by a Mustang. 4 seconds to play. 17-point Mountain Crest lead at 62-45. Doherty raises. His shot won't go, and that's the ball game. 62-45. Mountain Crest beats up on the Bobcats in Smithfield. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
Howdy you, old grist mill. Old Grist Mill Bread Company, Ogden, Brigham, Logan.
All right, looks like we're having problems with that microphone again, as Riley Crosby's our player of the game. He ends with 23 points on the game. He'll get a certificate to clean the sink at Angie's and Wendy's. A couple of certificates for Wendy's as well. So Tyler Crosby, did we say Riley again? Now Lee's got me doing it. It's Tyler Crosby with 23 points on the night. It was the starters that did it for the Mustangs. Nobody scored off the bench for Mountain Crest. 23 points for Crosby, 17 for Pututau, Knowles with 14, 5 for Webb, and 3 for Eddie Hall. For the Skyview Bobcats, 20 for Ty Nielsen. Goddard did not score. Jalen Moore, tough night for Jalen. 10 points. He had 6 of those in the second half. Mitch Larson with 2, Matt Dewey with 7, 4 for Porter, and 2 for Doherty off the bench. Not one three-pointer on the night for Skyview. And again, we don't keep the shooting percentages, but they would not be good for the Bobcats tonight. They just could not put the ball in the hole. They end up with 45 points. They scored 17 in that first period, so they only scored 28 points the rest of the way after scoring 17 in the first 15. They scored 20 points after that first period. 30 points. Game of the Week on the Valley Channel, as I struggle with my math, was brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness. Never give up. Lewiston State Bank, your hometown bank, with a new location at 3rd South and Main in Logan. Wendy's of Cache Valley. Quality is our recipe. Cache Valley Hospital, your first choice in healthcare.
You're down 6-0.
Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. The Salt Lake Express, from your door to the Salt Lake Airport, 12 times a day. S.E. Needham Jewelers, where Utah gets engaged. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff. All kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station. For Levon, the guys behind the camera and in the truck doing the hard work, I'm Eric Olson saying we'll see you next time on the Valley Channel.